Relief for South Africans as Godongwana lowers inflation target, promising cheaper prices after months of strain. And Australia's oldest croc eggs found from tree-climbing drop crocodiles that hunted from above. Hello, I'm Jane Dutton.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
A bold move aimed at easing the pressure on consumers. Finance Minister Ekurhuleni has lowered South Africa's inflation target to 3% with a 1 percentage point tolerance band.
It's been the advice of experts 3 years ago already that government review its inflation target of between 3 and 6%. While adopting a 3% inflation target will initially slow gross domestic product and revenue growth, Finance Minister Ekurhuleni says future benefits will outweigh this.
Over time, the lower target will decrease inflation expectations and inflation creating room for lower and inflation and creating room for lower interest rates.
Lowering the target aligns the country with international best practice and makes the cost of borrowing cheaper.
The short-term fiscal cost of lower target, which include nominal GDP and revenue growth, will make achieving fiscal targets more challenging.
The Reserve Bank is now expected to guide inflation towards the 3% target over the next 2 years. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
He also revealed that stronger tax collections, 20 billion rand above target, and debt savings allowed the Treasury to boost its contingency reserve from 5 billion rand to 13.5 billion. The additional funds will cover next year's municipal elections, the long-delayed infrastructure and disaster relief projects, as well as the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. At that inquiry, new details have emerged on how suspended EMPD acting head Julius Mkhwanazi abused his powers by signing a fraudulent 2021 deal with accused tender tycoon Vusimuzi Kat Matlala. Former Ekurhuleni official Xolani Mkhize said the agreement was unlawful, allowing Matlala's private security vehicles to be fitted with blue lights.
The deal that Julius Mkhwanazi entered into with Vusimuzi Kat Matlala would see Matlala donating several high-end vehicles to the city of Ekurhuleni. In exchange, Matlala would enjoy protection from EMPD as well as the city, as these vehicles would be subsequently registered as municipal vehicles but were never utilized by municipal officials. Instead, Matlala retained the vehicles for personal use. Former head of employee relations at the city of Ekurhuleni, Xolani Mkhize, alleges that the deal acted as a cover to allow Matlala to use these vehicles to evade the law.
These vehicles were utilized by the donor. So there is no benefit that the institution then derived from the donation.
At least 5 BMWs from Matlala's private security company, Cat VIP Protection, were registered to the city of Ekurhuleni. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
Crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo faces fraud and defamation charges after Stuart Sharnick laid complaints in Pretoria. Sharnick is an ally of the suspended Deputy Police Commissioner and says Khumalo lied under oath at the Madlanga Commission, falsely claiming he was convicted of carjacking.
After consulting with my legal counsel, we decided to open up these criminal cases against him because what he said was factually incorrect. And as the head of crime intelligence, he has all access to these resources to verify his story before lying under oath.
A small group of supporters gathered outside the Durban High Court to back Duduzile Zuma Sambutla. Inside, her father, former President Jacob Zuma, waited in a holding room but never spoke as many expected. The case against her was briefly heard before being adjourned to Monday. She faces charges of incitement to commit terrorism and 2 counts of incitement to commit public violence, all linked to the July 2021 unrest and looting that gripped parts of KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. The state says it still needs time to consult with witnesses before the trial continues.
So this is a fait accompli case. What more witnesses do they need? Unless if they want to conjure up some more charges. Are they telling us that after 4 years later, they couldn't identify other witnesses? They don't have witnesses 4 years later?
While Argentina's President Javier Milei won't be here to see it, Johannesburg is rushing to impress G20 leaders. Milei has pulled out of the summit, siding with Donald Trump's boycott over what they call South Africa's global stance on human rights. In the meantime, the city's been patched, painted and polished, but only where cameras will roll. For years, Joburg's been a mess. Potholes, power cuts, dry taps. Now the bulldozers are out, the pavement swept, and the streetlights fixed. And now the city's just launched a CEO cleanup campaign, urging big business to help revitalize the CBD.
We stand together as business, government, private sector and civil society to begin a process to reclaim what was once called the City of Gold. We are launching a movement today, a movement of shared leadership and a public demonstration that Johannesburg is rising again.
A 30-year-old well-known musician has been arrested in Bendor, Polokwane, on 2 counts of murder. Police say the musician allegedly opened fire during a confrontation with another motorist, hitting a 34-year-old passenger who was rushed to hospital with severe injuries.
During the operation, police seized the suspect's vehicles for forensic analysis as part of ongoing investigations. The Provincial Commissioner of Police in Limpopo, Lieutenant General Tembi Hade, has commended the investigation and operational teams for their meticulous work and swift action. She reiterated that no one is above the law, regardless of their social standing.
The Pretoria High Court has heard that there were several calls to move alleged Ekurhuleni serial rapist Sipho Lucas Piri to a single cell for his safety. Piri, testifying in the Benoni Magistrates Court, says he received threats while held at Mudapi Correctional Facility after his 2023 arrest. He faces more than 100 charges, including rape, kidnapping and fraud. Piri told the court his face was splashed across the media, making him a target.
We are in the Pretoria High Court sitting at the Benoni Magistrates Court in Ekurhuleni for a case of a man facing more than 100 sexually related crimes. His name is Sipho Lucas Piri. He began his testimony yesterday, telling the court that when he met one of his complainants, she was on her way to work when he offered her a lift in the morning. He says when they were in the car, she started complaining about having money-related issues. He then offered her a job and 500 rand in exchange for sex. To this, she agreed, but afterwards he did not pay her and instead dropped her off at work. Today, he told the court that when he met another complainant, he offered her a lift, and when she told him that she does not have money to go back to work, he offered her 1,000 rand in exchange for sex. After the ordeal, he told her that he only has 200 rand to pay her, and she got upset and he left her on the side of the road. He continues his testimony tomorrow. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News, Benoni.
Prison officials later advised him to move to a single cell, but he refused, saying he's innocent. Now, if you live near the waterfront, you've probably heard the noise and felt the traffic. Construction has kicked off on the 2 billion rand Granger Bay mixed-use development next to Cape Town's DHL Stadium. The Devmark and Feenstra joint venture will include a 5-star hotel, 200 luxury apartments, premium offices, and retail space designed to complement the V&A waterfront. Tenders close in mid-December, with completion expected by late 2027. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has blamed India for a suicide blast in Islamabad that killed 12 people and injured 30. Officials say the bomber targeted a courthouse but failed to get inside. India has dismissed the accusation as baseless. The attack came a day after a deadly car explosion in New Delhi that killed 13 people. Scientists have uncovered 55-million-year-old crocodile eggshells in a Queensland backyard, the oldest ever found in Australia. The shells belong to drop crocs, ancient predators that may have lurked in trees and ambushed prey below. Researchers say the discovery sheds new light on a bizarre, long-extinct species that once ruled Australia's inland forests. That's all we got for you today. See you again tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.